Well, fortunately, with my history at Indium, I haven't had a lot of challenges. Indium is very accepting of whoever wants to do whatever they want to do. Women or in a technical field is not a surprising thing here. So the one challenge I think is, the I don't want to say the old boys network, but men tend to want to hang around together, and I've seen a lot of that change over the years. Initially, when it was like, I don't play golf, so what do I do? How do I get in here? Maybe I've got to learn how to play golf, but I never did. So, but I think that part of it was probably the biggest challenge.
There's been a few challenges, but one that I see pretty often today is in a technical role. You get a call forwarded to your line and you pick up the call and say, "Hi, it's Emily, how can I help you?" And the person on the other line says, I'm looking for the engineer. And I say, I'm it. How can I help you? You don't get it all the time, but every now and again, people are a little taken aback that the woman they're speaking to on the other line is the engineer that they're looking for. So that would be probably the biggest challenge.
So I've been fortunate. In basically every location I've been in, there have been at least one, sometimes two older female technical people to look up to that have already broken some of the ground. So you're never in it by yourself, which I think is something that the people the generation before us ran into, is you were truly alone, and now we're not. I do think there is still some challenge in assuming respect, in being present at an event or in a meeting and double guessing to yourself, are they prioritizing the answers or responses from this other individual because they're older, because they know them better, or because they're a guy? And it's not always obvious, and I'm sure most of the time it isn't intentional, but that definitely goes on behind in the back of your head sometimes, and I think it's something we're all changing our perceptions of going forward.
Mirroring that a little bit, I found that, as a person representing Indium Corporation as a company, and I may be with another group of, male coworkers, and questions will tend to be directed towards them as opposed to me. And like you said, Claire, you're not quite sure if it's just, natural for them to present the question to someone, whether it's they're older or perhaps they have more experience, but I have the same knowledge that this person has, and sometimes I feel like I'm not taken as seriously as they would be.
Oh, reminds me, sometimes I don't play golf, and I definitely get the sense that the guys who out, the old boys network, it's definitely still a thing. I wonder, sometimes what I'm missing is I'm not doing some of the social events. Should I be going and learning to play golf? At time, it seems like a totally fun sport, but it's a lot of time, a lot of commitment, and is that necessary in order to have the relationships and the respect in the field? And I wish it weren't, but I'm still a little bit worried that if you don't make a point of getting the traditional male outdoors activity as part of your life, you're gonna miss out on future opportunities and career growth and those connections with other people in the company and the industry. So that's one that keeps hovering around. Okay, do I have the time to sit down and learn to play golf? I'm sure I'd like it, but does it need to be a priority for my career? Not for me, but is it something that needs to be for my career?
Because as much as we wish it weren't the truth, work is discussed in those hobby type activities, especially when you're with other coworkers doing those same things. So that's a very, very fair point to bring up.
I would say my biggest challenges have just been learning the skills I needed for my job. Just kind of your typical challenges, nothing really specific for me to being a woman in STEM, I would say.
Biggest challenge is representation. Finding out like mentors in the field who you can speak to, and I got to realize they don't always have to be, you know, a woman or this, that, whatever label you want to, but more or less like someone who you aspire to be like, and someone who supports you and your goals. And other than that, I think a lot of people, like in general, like when you take off those labels, have been very supportive. So I wouldn't really call it a challenge. I would say I have really enjoyed being in this field, working with people. It's exciting. There's always something new. You never stop learning. So that's a pretty cool thing about it. There's no ceiling to the amount of knowledge and new technology that's coming out.